right. So actually, I'm gonna pause real quick on that,
Hmm.
really quickly, Paul, because I I'm playing right now with just the last thing that you said. Right. There's a lot that's in there. There's more that I'll come back to. Right. Uh, but you want to be heard, and the reason I'm asking, the two times that you wanted to be like, there's at least twice right now where you like, I want to be heard, and you had something else to say, and I was going to go in a different direction, or I was going to say something, and both times it was just like a complete acquiesce, like you go, or well, I was just going to say this other thing, and it was like, oh, what I'm going to say is that I want to be heard. And I found it really curious that like the fact that you want to be heard was the thing that like went like that when the space came for that was the part that got pulled back in. There doesn't have to be anything about this, but I like to play this out as if like that we're living the world right now, and
Mm.
that this has its own place. So, what do you make of that? Like, there may be nothing there, but I found it curious that like twice we were in a space of like we're like you want to be heard, and the space has been created to be heard, and you've deferred it in various ways, very graciously, where you've deferred it twice. I just want to just like see what do you make of that? I'm just curious about it. I'd love to look at that with you.
Yeah, I mean that's a great point. I think what I'm seeing is one of the things that comes up for me is that as a kid I was told I was too much. I was loud. I was out there. I was bold. I was constantly just I couldn't sit still. I was constantly creating, and um, the world was really my oyster. That's truly how I felt. And over time, the narrative that was around me was that that was a bad thing. I'm too energetic. I'm too loud. I'm too naughty. I should sit still. I should not be too much. And so I've spent my whole life really suppressing myself from being too much and from putting myself out there and being too out there and putting too much attention on myself because that was uh, that was a story that was created in my life that when I am too much and when I am in the spotlight for too long, it is a bad thing and I'm taking away from others. And that's why people end up leaving me in my life. That was often the narrative I was told growing up. I didn't have a lot of friends, and my mom would say, "That's exactly why you don't have a lot of friends because you're the one that ends up talking the whole time." And no one else is, you constantly have the spotlight. And so I spent so much time suppressing my energy, suppressing my voice. And when I end up getting the spotlight, like right now, I end up sometimes holding back, and um, like you had mentioned, not going all the way, deferring, and not fully owning my voice. So that's definitely something that um, is is something I've been very aware of and get to continue to work on for sure. So thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, Paul. I see you, and I see you, my friend, because you have opened that door. You've opened the door of playing. And I don't use my language. I don't just throw out language. Like someone threw out use the word sure, and I was like, hold on, let's make sure we're in integrity of what we want that word to be here. I started out this year saying like you're an incredibly powerful person in my world, and I see you there. And what I appreciate about you is that like you live in the authenticity, and I see you doing that practice. I want to call that out here. And I also want to acknowledge you for the work that you've done to actually see like what are the various stories that are here. What are some of the areas that are leading to the way that I'm showing up in the world, right? And I think in
Yeah.
this moment here, I just want to just acknowledge the power of your voice, acknowledge the power of your truth here. There are things in here, and I have an invitation for you. More like I want to acknowledge you for that perspective, but I have an invitation for you. And I use invitation. I don't use challenge, because challenge to me is an external motivation. And the way that I play, it's like, if you don't want it, if you're not going to be intrinsically motivated to come and do it, then there's no real engine of ongoing growth. And I am too lazy to keep coming back out there and trying to poke you again. But like, did you do it? Did you do it? No, thank you. I will invite you to in this place. And the element here of invitation, you have this space for you, right? My invitation is to practice being in that voice, to own your voice, to claim your voice in this space, and to have this be a place where you practice what that looks like for you. Because you talked about, how do I get to there, being on stage, like as if it's some place that's really far away. We both have the same mentor of Rich Lifford, and he'll say a goal is not a place to get to, it's a place to come from. We'd come from being like how you are showing up, what is your alignment, how are you being in the world. I nowadays say it's not a place to get to, it's a place to start from. It's a place to start from. And so my thing, and I see you, I want to acknowledge you right now for what you have already been doing, because I don't want to set out this invitation without actually calling out, like, I see that you're playing this game already. I see that you're doing it. I want to call that out, and I want to acknowledge you for playing that game, and for finding ways for your voice to come out. I'm feeling your voice in this conversation, and the authenticity and trueness of you here, right? And I want to just create even more space for you to continue to practice that. And the question that comes to my mind is like, what if you're already past all the things that you think you need to get to? If you're already past that, and I like in my mind, it's like there's like a finish line that you passed ages ago, but like, if you were still looking for that finish line, like, how might that show up, and how might that like impact your actions? So I want to invite you to just play through this question. I'm going to go to Margaret Ellen for every day, but I want to like invite you to play through this question of like, what if that thing that you're looking for, you have already passed and you already have? If that is the case, what new possibilities become open for you? We're just getting started. Click on the link below to watch the full conversation, and go to niyamaashawn.com/tribe to get additional resources and exclusive invitation to tribe-only events. Journey on.